find it curious that there are game companies out there partnering with Sweet Baby Inc. behind the scenes that don't want it to be public information. And I know it sounds obvious when you put it out there and say, well, obviously Sweet Baby Inc. destroys games and they don't want the gamers to find out that they've been partnered with them. And I go back to, why the hell are you partnering with them? It doesn't make any sense. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Smash JT. And that's exactly what's transpired with Spitfire Games. Spitfire Interactive has hired Sweet Baby Inc. for their game Capes on Steam. And this game looks like a turn-based strategy superhero style game that I guess on the surface looks interesting enough, I guess, until you actually dive into the real gameplay and characters. And of course there's a purple-haired character as well, and every representation under the sun, because you gotta have that in your DIE infested game. And partnering with Sweet Baby Inc. you would think is bad enough on the surface, but where this really takes a wild turn is how this company proactively went out of their way to hide any association with Sweet Baby Inc. along the way, because they didn't want gamers to boycott and destroy this game. And as it turns out, once this info came to light, they were right. Hit that subscribe, give me a like, and check out SmashJT.com for the full article breaking down Spitfire Interactive's newest game, Capes, and how they tried to hide the fact that they hired Sweet Baby Inc. to consult with them on this game. And once it got found out, the game got absolutely destroyed. And shout out to Cabrutus for finding this on Twitter, sharing YouTuber Christopher Odd's post about how this game had information about Sweet Baby Inc. in the credits. That's how we found out about it. Not through marketing materials, not through any public posts, not on their website, hell, not even on Sweet Baby Inc.'s website that looks like it hasn't been updated in over a year. No, we found out that Sweet Baby Inc. was used as consulting for this game through the end credits. Who the hell even watches the end credits of a game these days? Cabrutus made big waves on X when announcing Capes had recently been added to DEI Detected, the site he runs that's known for identifying games influenced with Sweet Baby Inc. or any of the other consultancy firms out there in gaming that clearly impact the artistic vision of the developers. This update highlighted the involvement of Sweet Baby Inc.'s co-founder David Bedard and the prominent figure we all know and love, Chris Kindred, in the game's credits. Chris Kindred is the guy you might recall who kicked off Gamergate 2 when he tried to get Cabrutus canceled from his Steam account and tried to get him banned from Steam and have all his games taken away, which was bad enough. But then Chris Kindred, the same dude, reached out to an old place that I worked at, talked to my old bosses, and tried to get me fired by calling me a racist because I dared speak up against Sweet Baby Inc. Think about the type of people that work there that would do something like this. In an effort to mitigate any potential backlash, Spitfire Interactive realized that Sweet Baby Inc. was a death note to any games that they worked on, so they took the steps to hide their collaboration with Sweet Baby Inc. by omitting any mention of them on any marketing materials, their own website, and hell, like I said, even Sweet Baby Inc. hasn't updated their own website, so we don't even know what games Sweet Baby Inc. has been working on recently, if this is anything to go by. The involvement of Sweet Baby Inc. wasn't publicized in any promotional materials or game announcements, and their role remained concealed until players discovered it at the end credits of Capes. And again, working with a company should be promoted, you would think. You would want people to know how much you care about inclusivity, but no, they don't. For some reason, they felt like it was a good idea to work with Sweet Baby Inc., but not tell anyone about it, which has to make you think something more is going in the background on this. Like, there's going to be some sort of governmental stipends or grants to know that you have included diversity in your game, and you prove it by showing that you've paid off a consultancy firm. I mean, outside of extortion, when they get in bed with their journos and they put their organized mafia to work and go against any game, giving it negative reviews, slamming it, slandering it, making it sound as bad as possible, all because they refuse to sign on the dotted line with Sweet Baby Inc. or one of their cohorts. I don't know. It's a very weird situation that we're uncovering right now, and there seems to be no end in sight to it. Spitfire Interactive, in response, had sought to clarify their position because, let's be honest, no dev wants to be caught publicly working with Sweet Baby Inc. these days. They already know it's a death knell for the company. Developer Penta took to the game's Steam forums to address the concerns that the community had. He stressed that Capes had undergone extensive feedback sessions, including 14 pages of forum discussions on the topic of DEI. Penta ensured that the involvement of Sweet Baby Inc. was minimal, primarily assisting the indie development team in connecting with voice actors. So listen to what they say here. In this message they put on the Steam forums, they work with Sweet Baby Inc. to connect them with voice actors. And listening to some of the voice acting in this game just from the trailer alone was tragically, horrifically bad.
I came here to slay.
And then you see the reviews of people playing the game echoing that sentiment. It's like, yikes, the DEI is literally just hooking their buddies up in the industry with jobs. Not because they're the most qualified, not because they're really talented, but because they decided, hey, I have a voice, I can talk, I should get paid in the game industry because I'm buddies with Kim Belair at Sweet Baby Inc. What Penta seemed to forget in all this is no matter how big or small your interaction is with Sweet Baby Inc. as a company, simply contracting with them at all is enough for gamers to boycott your product. And boycott it in droves, they are. And not just boycotting, but also completely review bombing, destroying, and slandering the absolute shit out of this game right now. They're charging $39.99 USD for a trash experience. Players have been blasting the game left and right, with many expressing frustrations over the gameplay and thematic elements and voice acting. Under the most helpful reviews section on Steam, we got Shinelight saying the tactics aren't fun, the cast is a diversity quota checklist, not actual characters, the game's tone is all over the place, there's no soul here, nothing interesting, it's a superhero game made by people that hate superheroes. Almost like, hear me out, I know it's crazy, but Sweet Baby Inc. is a game consultancy firm that hates gamers. Duchowa Wookie said, the game is glaringly blatant with DEI, everyone being a they-them, and every race and disability rendered. This still needs a lot of work and polish. It's almost like the game developers were like, okay, we want to make a turn-based strategy action game with superheroes. But at the same time, we also want a diversity, equity, and inclusion checkbox to go through on this list to make sure we hit every checkbox along the way. Why? I don't know. Again, it goes back to there's got to be something going on in the background here for this to make sense. And none of this even gets at the mobile-style gacha mechanics that this game has implemented with the alternative costumes that your superheroes can wear that look like they're unlocked and that you can select them, but then when you go to put them on, it prompts a DLC page to purchase them. Maybe it's one of those things where they need to get their money back to pay off the consultancy firms, so they start implementing these terrible business practices to catch up on the funds that they lost. I am trying my best to figure out the logic of this studio. The fallout from all this has had a tremendous effect on the success, or lack thereof, of Capes. Capes initially saw a peak concurrent play count of just a pathetically paltry 664 players upon release, but the interest dwindled rapidly. In the past 3 days, the game has struggled to maintain any player base whatsoever. 3 days after launching, there are now about 20 concurrent players playing this game. 20. The broader implications of Sweet Baby Inc.'s influence have now become increasingly obvious to everyone. The company's reputation for negatively impacting games it collaborates with has led to a ton of studios now not just to begin avoiding using them or distancing themselves, but if they have used them or will be using them, not letting the public know about it until the end credits, which is just really deceiving to your end customer, the gamer in general, the people that want the information to know if they should be purchasing your product. I look at this as a very sneaky tactic from the game developer to say, we know that if people find out that we've partnered with Sweet Baby Inc., that they're not going to buy the game and play it. So let's hide that. And in fact, by doing that, you're actually slapping the player in the face, being like, I don't trust you, and I want to sell this game to you any way I possibly can. And even if I'm using Sweet Baby Inc., I don't want you to know about it. What kind of developer treats the gamer like that? Capes is Exhibit A for other developers and publishers to not do this. The fallout from the partnership proves the need for companies to carefully consider any ramifications of their collaborators, particularly when faced with a reputation of undermining the success of projects. The DEI nonsense has run its course, and everyone, not just me, not just other YouTubers, but the tremendous amount of Steam gamers, players, everyone who's a actual gamer out there is so sick and tired of this DEI nonsense. They want to be done with it and now have reached a point where the game might have initially sounded interesting and potentially good, but once DEI touches it, it completely destroys any artistic vision whatsoever from the developer. Even if they try to claim that, oh, we just lightly touched it, or we just talked to them a little bit, it barely had any influence, or they even one better, they had no influence at all on it, we just partnered with them just for them to tell us they don't need us. Like, that makes no sense at all, and we're supposed to believe it. Like, no, I'm sorry, it ain't working. Gamers have had enough of it, and we're starting to push back. Anyways, I'm going to leave it there. If you guys want more information, check out smashjt.com for the full article. I will link it in the description below. If you appreciate what I'm doing here, please consider hitting that join button. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, you stay smashing.
Now we're talking. Don't worry, it's not the fall that hurts. I came here to slay.
This is what I've been training for.
Just try and keep up.
Okay.
Smash JT. Smash JT. Smash JT.